Hey guys, it's Lauren Yates from Rave It Up here, and today we're going to be having a chat over Zoom with American actress Kelly Stables, who you may know from the movie The Ring 2. She also played Melissa in 2.5 Men and Kelly in Superstore. We have a talk to her about all of these projects, as well as go back to talk to her about studying improvisation at the Groundlings. There's so much to cover today, so let's get into it now. Before we get into today's interview, we would like to give a shout out to our Patreons, Irene, Bev, and Michael. If you haven't heard of Patreon before, it is a great way to support us and keep us running and improving. You pick a membership tier that suits you and your budget per month, and in return for supporting us, we'll give you behind-the-scenes content and free stuff. You don't have to give much either. You can be a part of our Patreons for as little as $4 a month. Just visit patreon.com/raveitup. You can even donate through PayPal if you don't trust other sites. You can do so just through our email, raveituptv@gmail.com. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We appreciate anything you can do to support us. Now, let's get into this interview. Kelly, welcome to Rave It Up. It is a pleasure to have you on our show. How are you going today?
Good, yeah, thank you. I'm excited to chat with you.
Yeah, in Australia, on the other side of the world too. That's really
So
cool.
exciting. I know. What time is it there? It's 4:30 p.m. here in
10:30 in the morning here, so
Oh, okay.
works out really well.
Yeah.
Good time difference.
Yeah.
Since this is your first time on our show, we'd love to get to know you a little bit better by starting from the beginning, if that's okay, to get a good idea of how you made it to where you are today. So you were born in St. Louis, Missouri, where you performed at the Mooney Opera. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. How old were you when you started performing there? It's one of the oldest theatres now, I was having a read, so what an honor.
Yeah, it's an outdoor theater, which is fun because in Missouri we get all 4 seasons. The theater season is just in the summertime, so they don't do it when it's snowing, but there were plenty of times where we would get like rained out and, we'd have to hold because like a plane would be coming across or a helicopter. And then, incorporating that into the show was lots of fun for the audience and for us as well. But I didn't do that until I think it was the summer after my junior year of high school. So before that, it was really just any typical kid upbringing. I did soccer and softball and cheerleading and wasn't involved with like sports through my school and that kind of thing. But that was my first like professional, being amongst like professionals who did that for a living.
Yeah. Well, I did read in a previous interview that you've done before that growing up, theatre was kind of the only form of entertainment in Missouri, right? Like, is that why you think you kind of got into it? A bit of inevitable because that's all you've ever known?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we didn't have like cable when I was a kid, cable TV. There certainly wasn't like YouTube videos to entertain us or to do. And so, we would go see an occasional movie. But yeah, the live theater, we had the Fox Theater and then the Muni. And so some wonderful shows came through there. So that's kind of where I first was like, wow, I don't know what that is, but that looks really exciting.
Did you ever think of it as a career as well, or did you actually have other careers in mind that maybe we don't know about?
It's something I'd always wanted to do, and I have very supportive parents who were kind of like, well, if you'd like to do this is something, that some people do for a living. And so they kind of supported my interest in it, I guess you could say. And but when I first went to college, I majored in education. I thought, well, there's no way I could make it as an actress, but I could teach acting because I've been in plays in school and that was fun. And so that was an option. And then like my thesis, like at the end of my freshman semester was like, yeah, maybe I will try it. Like, I don't know, maybe I want to actually try to do it. So then I switched over to my major was communications, which is just interacting with people and basically the study of people and how we communicate with each other and interculturally as well. And I found that fascinating. And that's really where I felt like, oh, I love people. And so acting is essentially just getting inside someone else's mind and heart and clothes and seeing, what life is like for them and the relationships that they have. And so even though I'm an actress, it's really just portraying a person.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because usually communications here in Australia anyway is a little bit more like the journalism side of things.
Well, so the school I was at is known throughout the United States. That's one of the number one journalism schools in the country. It was University of Missouri in Columbia. But us communication majors were kind of like people who were like, yeah, that's really competitive. I'll just major in communication. So we had a little bit more fun.
Yes.
It wasn't as competitive.
Fun pretending to be other people. Who doesn't want to do that? That sounds awesome.
Right.
And upon moving to LA, you quickly got involved in obviously the theatre arts, acting, choreographing as well, which is really cool, in over 24 plays for the audience. And then you also started studying improvisation at the Groundlings. That was so cool to read when I was doing research on you, to give our audience a bit of an idea about how awesome the Groundlings are. Some of their alumni includes like Melissa McCarthy and her husband Ben Falcone. Got Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
That's just amazing. What was your favorite part about the Groundlings? Were you there around the time?
I had a teacher. No, one of my teachers was Mitch Silpa, who still does a ton of work. If you've seen Bridesmaids, he's the flight attendant on the plane. That's like, you can't. That's one of many things that he's done. And he was so encouraging, so talented, and so funny. And what's interesting about studying at the Groundlings is it was really, they had a set of rules. Like, it wasn't like, let's just go in and be funny. Like, you were actually told, like, don't try to be funny. Like, try to find the authenticity in this character and the real conflict in this scene, and then like heighten certain aspects which will make it funny. But it was a lot stricter than I kind of went in thinking it was going to be, because you see the finished product of people who, like the people you had mentioned, they've gone to the school and they've done the training and they've tested different shows and they're in different companies, and so you see like the finished product, but for us Groundlings at the Groundlings, it was like a lot of learning, like their rules, which all made sense and all did help like feed you to the goal, which was to be a successful comedian. But but they had some really interesting and practical rules, but they were pretty strict about following them.
Tougher than you thought it was going in, obviously.
Yes.
But it's made you a better actress and a better comedian, so
thank you. It definitely made my skin thicker, that's for sure. Because I had one teacher who he just didn't vibe with me from day one. And it was, I think that I'm not going to say who it was. And I don't even know if he's still in acting. But I think that some people don't like smiley people. For whatever reason. And so I think from day one, he's like, he had it, like, it was so bad that I was like, where are the hidden cameras? Like, he's being so mean. But it made me, what I learned from that was, it's like, you're not going to win everybody in the room. Just, you have to sometimes be able to like take the punches and still stand on stage and still deliver your stuff. And but that was a harder.
Probably like, one of those happy ones. I used to be like that. Got to tear her down.
You know what? I think so, because he hadn't gotten to the level that some of his comrades had. So I don't know. Maybe he was just like, "You're so naive." I don't know. Go back to Missouri.
Oh well, as you said, it gave you thick skin, and you learned that you can't just impress everybody. Even with fans, you still got haters out there too. So,
yes,
you got to balance it out, that you just got to don't even care about what they say.
That's right. Yeah.
You just got to love what you do. That's the most important.
Yeah, so true.
You did say also that you've, your first ever job, I thought this was really funny, was as an extra as a monkey in Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes in 2001. You're like, everybody has to start off being a monkey.
Yeah, yes.
Rick Baker saw you doing that, and just because of, your size and that you're over 18, he thought you'd be great for a double of the role of Samara in The Ring.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that until I did my research on you. I was like, The thing. Oh my God, got to talk to her about that. Do you really think it's all about being in the right place at the right time, or is it about the connections, or a bit of both? Because I've heard both.
I think it is a bit of both. I mean, I think you have to set yourself up to be available, being at the right place at the right time. Sometimes you have no control over that. I didn't know that I would meet Rick Baker there. But I think in addition to that, it's also when you are where you are, trying your best to have a positive attitude and to be helpful and to just be a reliable person, because even though it's a set and it's exciting, it's still a workplace. You have to have a level of like professionalism so that other people can get their jobs done efficiently. Yeah. And so, I think that's just as equally as important. So what you can control and what you can't control are both play into that.
Yeah, be easy to work with too. You don't want to be working with someone that's just so hard and difficult and bit of a diva.
There's a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of them have to move fast in order to get your shots that you need to for that day. So
time
if you
is money.
And be prepared, and not make everyone wait for whatever situation that you have going on. Time is money. You'll be more likely to be asked back, I think.
Yes. Well, it shows in your line of work that you have been called back for several things, because Ring 2, you were in that and actually played the role of Samara. Yeah. You looked incredible too. I haven't watched it because I'm very scared of scary movies, but
me too.
When I looked at the photos, I was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't even look like you.
No, and I had nothing to do with that. That was all the talents of Rick Baker and Kazu, who did a lot of that, and their design. I literally was just the canvas, and that was all their creative force behind that. They really, it was 5.5 hours of me in the makeup chair of them putting together that character. And everything that was, there were many layers. They would like paint my skin and then put a prosthetic over it and then texture it and then paint that and put my hair up in a wig and then put on, there was I think 3 or 4 different wigs for different situations in that movie. Wow. Expensive wigs, like $15,000 wigs, and because the hair was a big part of that.
Even though you were just like, it just looked like it was all over the place.
Oh yeah, I mean, when they were doing that close up of like that one eye, I mean, I had to hold still, and they pieced like very specifically like what part they wanted showing.
The hair shown. Oh my goodness. Yeah. For 5.5 hours, that is a long time for you to sit in the chair. Was the whole thing uncomfortable as well with all the prosthetics?
It was, but I think I found it so fascinating that it was, I just let that go, and I remember they'd always we'd have at one point, like an hour and a half in, they'd do a Starbucks run. So we'd be drinking our little, Starbucks and stuff, but we couldn't, because of the prosthetics, we couldn't eat or drink. So we had to do through a straw or have really small little bites, because you didn't want to stretch out basically they put a whole new face on me.
Oh my goodness. It must really help though with the acting to feel like a totally different character as well. Not just in your head.
Yes. And what was so weird was because I would see myself in a mirror as they were doing it, but then once then I was just walking around, I still felt like me, but to everyone else, they saw this horrific, hard to look at person. So what I found so interesting was how I got treated and how I noticed people looking at me differently than I did just walking around as me. Walking around as me, people, they look whatever, but as someone else, it's almost like I could tell that they almost didn't want to look at me. And I thought, oh my, that's an interesting observation that I'm feeling right now. I could tell that people were kind of, they didn't want to look like they were staring, and I don't know, maybe gave me some empathy and just an idea of how, if someone who doesn't look traditionally normal, whatever they believe that means, how they might, and that's just how they are other every day, how that might affect them. And it was an interesting study of people.
Coming back to the whole people learning in college. But it shows how great of a job the makeup department did then.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, that's not Kelly. And then you look in the mirror and go, oh, wait, yep, okay, I'm wearing all this stuff still. Makes sense.
One other interesting thing I learned from that project was how sometimes our imagination can be the most powerful tool in fear, more so than the real monster. And that's why it was so important for them to not reveal Samara's face too soon, because what people they wanted the audience to think, what's behind there? Oh my gosh, what does it look like? They wanted them to be scared, and that's why I think people are scared of the dark, because they don't know what's in the dark. It's so much more scary to have me underwater longer and then pop up, as opposed to see once you see the monster coming out at you, you're like, hey, I'm out of here, and then you run.
It's the suspense, isn't it? It's kind of like when
our imaginations are so powerful.
Yeah, I've heard so many times, if you watch a scary movie without the music, totally different thing. You'll probably actually laugh at the whole thing, that, oh my goodness, like, it's the music that adds to it, to the suspense. That's what makes it
ominous
scary.
Woods is so different from like birds chirping and like a river. Sound of a river.
I still can't watch it even without the music. It's still a bit, because the imagination is too grand. Like, I just start thinking of all the, oh, okay, something's about to jump out.
Yeah.
In 5, 4, no, it's gonna happen now. Okay. I can't take it.
Yeah.
What a great experience for you, though, because obviously it's not scary when you're on set, but when they put the whole finished product together.
Yeah, a good example of how it takes so many people doing their job really well to put together, the perfect storm.
I was going to say, except for the cast members looking at you, that's probably a little bit scary.
Yeah, well, that was just odd. It took me a minute to be like, why isn't anybody like, and I couldn't smile back. Like, the prosthetics didn't allow me to be like, hi, so I'm sure they were like, this girl's creeping me out,
She's doing a little bit of method acting, just turning into the character. I hope not. So you are also commonly recognized as the bubbly receptionist, Michelle, on 2.5 Men. Love that show. What a huge show for you to be involved in. How did this gig all come about for you? What was the audition process like, and how'd you hear about it?
I get my auditions through my agent, and I was recurring on a show called Greek at the time, which was about a college sorority, the college sorority system. And so, I went to the audition, and then I got a call back, and the callback happened to be, I had another job that day, a voiceover job, and I wasn't going to be able to make it. But then the voiceover job's time got pushed later in the day, which never happens, but it did. And so I was able to make the callback. And it was just in the callback. I remember I was I had like a shirt that kind of showed like this part of my neck, and so I had to wear like a strapless bra for that audition. And I like sat up straight, and then as soon as I sat up, like I could tell it like slipped down under my shirt, and I'm like, oh, and this was in the audition, and I'm like, they couldn't see it because it was under my shirt, but I felt it, and I was like, what do I do? Like, that's gonna look weird if I try and adjust. So I just took my sides and I like held them like this, and I'm like walking out of the room like, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's a story that we wouldn't have known otherwise.
Oh man, that's one of those times where you're in the moment, and all I'm thinking is like, I'm saying the lines, but all I was thinking was like, what do I do with this? What do I do here?
That's really funny though. Like, thank you for sharing that. You didn't have to. You could have just hidden the fact that was what was happening under your shirt, but I love it.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what to do in that situation, but it ended up being a really fun show to work on. John Cryer is one of the funniest guys, nicest guys. And the writing on that show is so specific. It's almost musical the way they want to have it, hear it. And so it was a good time. Yeah, people still are like, Melissa, hey, Melissa, how's Dr. Harper? I'm like, oh my gosh. Alrighty.
Shut up. Yes, I meant Melissa, not Michelle. Just in the moment.
Right?
But obviously the universe just knew that you needed to have this gig, so it pushed the voiceover stuff back for you.
Wasn't that crazy? Yeah, sometimes it just works out like that.
And something that you just recently did, which I've watched all of it now, I absolutely love it, is Superstore, and you played Kelly in that. it's a pleasure to talk to you today because I've only just rewatched a few episodes lately, and I'm like, hey, I'm interviewing her next week.
Yay!
And it is about a superstore that's in St. Louis, which I find really fitting because you are from St. Louis. Was it actually filmed there? Did you get to go back home?
We didn't do any filming there. It was all on the Universal Studios backlot.
Oh, look at that. TV magic. Wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, but they would have like when you would see a parking lot, like the set people would have Missouri license plates, so that was very I guess authentic or realistic.
Very specific, yeah.
But no, we're
not looking at the number plates.
No. Yeah, if you are, then the acting isn't. We're not doing our job.
No.
But yeah, no, that was a top-notch set too. Everyone did their job so well, and that was a fun character to play.
Yeah, well, your name was Kelly in the show too. Is that a bit weird, or is that kind of helpful because people don't screw up your real name to your character name?
Well, originally when I got the initial audition, it was like Kathleen or Kathy or something like that.
You don't look like a Kathy.
No. And so I was like, all right, and then I was like, whatever. And the character description was like, she's not dumb, she's just not like the sharpest or brightest bulb or something. And it's like, she's not slutty, she just doesn't dress appropriately. Like she's not, so there are some little things about her. And I was supposed to have a kid. I was supposed to have been like divorced with a kid. They just dropped that storyline or decided not to have that part of my character, I think, when I started to get more involved with Jonah. But so and then the initial costume fitting, they're like, they have your character name and all your possible costumes, and it said Kelly, and I was like, oh, they usually put like the character name, but then the showrunner, his name's Justin Spitzer, really nice guy, and he has a new show coming up. I think it's American Auto. It's going to be hysterical.
Oh,
the guy who played Marcus, you'll have to check it out. The guy who played Marcus in Superstore, he's one of the leads in this new show.
Oh, and he's hilarious. I will definitely check it out.
So anyway, so Justin emailed me or called me or something. He goes, do you mind? We kind of just kept calling her Kelly. Do you mind if we use your name, Kelly, even though that's your real name for this character? I was like, sure, no problem. But like, it was fine, except for that episode where they're all like, hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right. This is weird.
Hey, it's me, Kelly. Boy, it sure is windy out today. Whoa.
I don't sound like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more squeaky, like, hey, everybody, I'm Kelly.
No, it's more like, hi, everybody, I'm Kelly.
Hi, everyone, I'm Kelly.
Is that a bit hard to listen to feel like a bit of bullying?
Well, you know what's funny is, especially in television comedy, talk about having thick skin. I think you have to be okay with people like poking fun at you a little bit. Like, even though I'm playing a character, I'm still in my own skin, And so I'm not going to get offended if, they're going to make like jokes about my height or my voice. It's all, if I can't laugh at it, then the audience can't. Right. And so we always need more laughter. So I'm all for that. That's fine. So
did you have a favorite episode too that you filmed?
Oh, I loved all of them. I loved the Halloween one where I got to like
pretend to stab him
when he was the bee and I was the prince, or a beauty pageant. That was really fun. And I liked the ones where I liked the talk show one where we're doing this like talk show and then Sandra comes in and we get to interview her, and I'm like, so you're from Hawaii? You're
afraid of the water.
yeah, exactly. That was a fun one. And actually that one, the deleted scene was Ben or Jonah and I did this little song. We like harmonized this thing at the end of that.
Oh, that would have been nice to see.
It didn't make it into the show, but that was really fun. But I like the ones where I kind of had to have a little bit more dramatic moments too, like where he was breaking up with me, and that was kind of fun too.
Yeah, you did a really good job, and it did
you.
look like the cast was a bit of a family. Is that true?
Yeah, I came in, I think it was season 3, and you never know when you come in the middle of something that's already been established, like how it will be. And for sure, like they were really tight with each other, but they also were really nice to me and welcomed me, and very very inclusive and, you know, really kind people. You know, when my mother passed, Colton, who plays Garrett, you know, he sent flowers to my home. He and his wife did, and they're just a really neat group of people. I have no doubt that all of them will go on and continue to do like really great things and keep in touch with each other. I think they will.
You've kept in contact with them as well?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them I have.
Yeah. Life gets busy. But it sounds like your first day wasn't like your character's first day where she had no idea what she was doing.
Oh my gosh, no. But I think I was not acting when I was like so excited to be in that break room. Like any break room, I was a fan of the show before I got on it. And in particular, those break room scenes where everyone's all together. Yeah. And Mark McKinney's up there doing his like trying to talk to the group. And I mean, I was rolling. And so I was like so excited to be there, like in that, seeing it actually play out it was hard to not laugh.
Well, Irene White was really good too, played Carol. Like, how was it? Was it really fun doing those scenes with her, pretending like you're starting to list bad things you want to do to people? Is it hard to kind of control that laughter inside and not just let it all out?
100%. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I keep up with her. She's doing great things, and again, such a nice person. And Kaliko, who plays Sandra as well. But yeah, there was definitely times where I like had to look away so the cameras didn't see me laughing. It was very funny. They're funny people.
They sure are. It makes a great show.
Great writers was they took like they were big characters but still like believable. Like I've had many people be like, oh, like I know a person just like that, you know? So this just happened to be like an eclectic group of people who were larger than life but still very real.
Yeah, relatable as well. Mm-hmm. And it was good that even though you got such a huge cast, that you kind of got a little bit of the background story of every single one, so you can kind of fall in love with every single character a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, sort of like how Friends was done, you know? That's so many characters, but you really get to know every single one of them.
I feel the same way. I think that might be harder on the writers, but I mean, I know the actors like it more too, and it really is like a true like ensemble cast, and so many different flavors. Big minestrone of a show.
Minestrone. Oh my, that's a good metaphor. I'm going to remember that one. And do you know how they filmed that whole tornado scene? Like, there's a lot of green screens, big fans, things like that. Movie magic, as they like to call it.
Well, that was before I got on the show. But
yeah.
I think it was exactly.
That's why I wanted to see if you knew. I knew you weren't on the show yet, but.
Yeah, no, I don't know, but yeah, I'm sure there were big fans involved. I'm sure they did it piece by piece, and they almost probably had to choreograph different elements. And I would be curious as to how much of it also was like, you know, post-production things flying by and stuff like that. Yeah, but being from Missouri, I've lived through several tornadoes, and it's pretty frightening.
Yeah, wow, really? Mm-hmm. Something that bad though? Oh.
Yeah, when I was in college, we had something called a microburst, which was like tornado weather, and there were like tornadoes popping up everywhere. So much, in fact, that at one point it was like, boom, boom, and it like
wow.
Like my girlfriend was in her bed and she went downstairs or something, and a big like someone else from another house, like their like bedpost or a curtain rod came crashing through her window and like pierced the bed where she had been like moments before. Oh, and you'd have like a whole car like lifted and just put like 5 houses down. Like tornadoes are very unpredictable and very scary. Oh. And I remember it just sounded like things like blowing horizontally that shouldn't. Like I was in bed when that happened. It felt like someone was like shooting like gravel at my screen window. It was very strange.
I'm sure you're really glad not to be living there anymore. That's terrifying.
It was pretty scary.
It's only the stuff that, well, here in Australia we see in movies or TV shows, but to actually think that you've lived through that.
Yeah, it's really, really scary.
Oh, thank God you're in LA now, right?
Yeah. away from all the craziness.
A little bit too much realism in Superstore now. Another part of your acting actually includes a lot of fun voiceover work you quickly mentioned before, but a lot of people don't realize, and that's why I wanted to bring it up today in our interview, how hard it can be sometimes, because a lot of the time you don't have someone to kind of act off like you do in normal acting. Is that kind of a challenge you found?
Oh yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it moves faster than shooting like a live action television show. Sometimes it can be. I always like it when the actors are in the room as opposed to just recording your lines and then they record their lines and then everyone sends it in. I think Disney, I've done a couple of voiceovers for Disney and they record it singularly. At least the shows that I was on did. Meaning like they would bring just me in and I would just record my lines and then they'd bring another actor in and then they put it together in post. But
you'd think that would be more editing for them too.
Yeah, you'd think so. And I'm sure they have the reasons for doing that, but I prefer it when it's a whole cast and we're reading it together and then you get to kind of react off of how someone says something. Yeah.
Interesting. Was it like Sophia the First? I know that's such a huge thing for little kids now. That's a really big production to be a part of. Same with like Tom and Jerry and what was it, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too.
Oh yeah,
they're huge like cartoons.
Yeah, big cartoons. I have a little niece who's 4, and so she's seen them.
Oh, you're like, oh, that's Kelly. Or does she not even realize?
Yeah, that's Auntie Kelly. She's like, all right. She's kind of like, no, it's not. It's Joni the show-stopping pony. That's not you. Yeah.
You're like, can you hear the voice though? Same voice right here. I think you have a very distinct voice, so it does, when you're trying to point it out, you can notice.
Yeah,
it.
Sometimes my mom would be like, oh, I thought you were in the other room, but you were just on it was, one of your episodes was on.
Oh, well, it's mothers. They know their daughters' voices.
Yeah, definitely.
I found this really interesting too, which I did not know this before, and I have even more, I already had a lot of respect for you, but even more respect that you've done a little bit of stunt work in the past. Is that correct?
I mean, technically they would put it under stunts, but I was not jumping off buildings or falling down or anything.
Yeah, I was like, come on, you've got a very, famous face, and we got to look after it.
Oh, please. No, not even. No, it was just like, when I moved here, I knew no one. And so I would hope to get a job wherever I could get a job. And I think I think it was like Spider-Man. I ended up there was like some scene in Spider-Man where I got hired for stunts only because I was the size of a kid and I looked like a kid. And there was some scene where it's like this, train or tram or kids like are falling and because it had to shake, like that's a stunt. Oh,
okay.
I was like, really? I would like pay money to go to Six Flags to go on this,
Exactly.
Okay. So
like protect the kids. Let's put an adult in.
That's right. Exactly. And then like in Princess Diaries, I did stunts on that, but that was just like mattress sliding, the scene where we had mattresses and we're going like down the big slide. Again, I was like, I shouldn't be getting paid to do this because this is a lot
so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was either that scene or like when she does the bow and arrow scenes, and I was like, okay, maybe you do a bit of bow and arrow action, do you?
Yeah. No, I don't do bow and arrow. Are you talking about the Dragon Hunter movie?
Oh no, with Princess Diaries.
Oh, Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I did do a movie where I played like an elfin warrior, and I had like a bow and arrow, and I had to get like lessons on how to do that.
Oh, see, this is the side of acting people don't realize. You get some fun jobs where you can just do mattress surfing, and then you got other ones where you got to learn some new skills.
Yeah, totally.
I love it. Well, before we move on to a cool game, because there's a bit of competitive element to this that you'll love, and it's a great way for fans to get to know you. Okay. I just wanted to finish up with a question that will really help our audience as well in case they want to get into acting. Do you have any advice for those people wanting to get into acting?
Yeah, I would say follow your heart and follow your aspirations and just act. Just find a way to play around. And at this point, if you're 14, if you're a kid, don't look at the rules. Don't know what the rules of acting are. Those will come when you get a job, or once you want to turn it, if you decide you want to turn it into a profession. At this point, I would say just have fun and find a group of good people that you can just explore with and pretend to be other people, or, put on a play or write your own play, or even if it's just 1 minute of a scene, I would say at this point, don't limit yourself to anything you think you should or shouldn't be doing in order to get on the path. Just play. It's so important, I think, to be able to, even if you decide to have it as a profession, to try it as a profession, to go back to that place where you're like, there are no rules here. I want to be free to do whatever I want, have fun with it. And nowadays, with like YouTube, and you have access to, everyone has a camera on their phone. So it's very possible to record yourself doing something or edit together a little skit or something.
Yeah, create your own little mini movie and upload it.
Sure, yeah. So
many ways. But thank you so much for that advice. Hopefully people take it on. And we hope we're going to see some really cool things for you in the future. Is there anything you can reveal to us?
Well, I just shot an episode of NCIS,
cool.
which is on CBS, and it's a guest starring role, and it's like a character I've never played before. It's the first time on TV that I had my short hair.
Yes, that was one thing I noticed when you logged on to Zoom. I was like, oh, short hair.
Yeah, I cut it off, and then it's NCIS is not a comedy, it's a drama. And so I play I can't say too much about it, but it should be airing this season, and
a more serious role.
A more serious role, but they had fun with it. Of course, they had some.
Yeah, of course,
fun with it. Yeah.
Kelly Stables, you have to have a little bit of fun with it while you've got her.
That's right. Go for it.
Well, any other future projects, you'll have to come on and talk to us about it. I'd love to hear about it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, I'm happy to. You have such a great energy, and you're so positive. It's really fun to chat with you.
Oh, I think the exact same thing about you. That would have been my compliment to you. I've always loved your bubbly personality. Whenever you pop up on TV shows and movies, I'm like, oh, Kelly's in it. I'm going to love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Show me what you got, girl. All right. Well, we're going to have some more fun with this cool game.
Okay.
It's called the 2-Minute Hot Seat. It's very legendary here on Rave It Up. I used to do it every single week with every single one of my guests, and then I took several years off it, and people were asking where it went. So I brought it back.
Here we go. We're back.
So it's a question-answer game. So I just ask you various questions, and you just have to pick your preference. So it's like dogs or cats, singing or dancing. Okay. Very easy.
Okay. Cool.
And you have to answer as many questions in 2 minutes as possible. And then when we finish, we'll see where you sit on the leaderboard up against everyone else that's played the game on the show. Woo!
Okay.
Hopefully I can get some more like Superstore cast members or something, and you can set the bar nice and high for them.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. So at the top of the leaderboard for Zoom interviews, is 55 questions.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yes. It's a lot higher for in-person interviews, but let's make it fair with Zoom.
Okay.
And I'll give you 2 minutes 15 like I do all my Zoom interviews, just because there's a little bit of a delay. So let me get my stopwatch out.
All right.
And I'll change the view on Zoom so we can see both of us. Okay. Are you all ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Rap or rock?
Rock.
Rock or pop?
Pop.
Pop or country?
Country.
Beach or mountains?
Mountain.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Sun or rain?
Rain.
Skiing or snowboarding?
Ski.
Comedy or action?
Comedy.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Sunglasses or hat?
Hat.
SUV or convertible?
SUV.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
PlayStation or Wii?
Or Wii.
Clean or messy?
Messy.
Singing or dancing?
Oh, both.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Italian or Chinese food?
Italian.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Kim Kardashian or Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson.
Johnny Depp or Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Mall or online shopping?
Online.
Cinema or home movie?
Home movie.
Ice cream or gelato?
Ice cream.
Cake or cookies?
Ugh. Cookies.
Cookies or cookie dough?
Cookies.
Family or friends?
Family.
Christmas or your birthday?
Christmas.
Night or day?
Day.
Bus or train?
Bus.
Straight or curly hair?
Curly.
Eye color, blue or brown?
Brown.
Vampire or werewolf?
Werewolf.
Texting or calling?
Texting.
Los Angeles or New York?
LA.
Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
TV or movies?
TV.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Snow or surf?
Snow.
Harry Potter or Twilight?
What was it? What?
Harry Potter or Twilight?
Oh, Harry Potter.
Family Guy or The Simpsons?
Family Guy.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
French fries or chips?
French fries.
Burger or hot dog?
Burger.
Dress or skirt?
Dress.
Leather or denim?
Leather.
City or country?
Country.
Biting your nails or picking your nose?
Biting your nails.
Tattoos or piercings?
Chinese.
Backpack or suitcase?
Backpack.
Pen or pencil?
Pen.
And we're out of time. Wow. Oh, I love some of your reactions there. I can see you like country music. It looks like you're like country. Oh, how many questions do you think you answered in that time, Kelly?
30?
Oh, a lot more than that. I'm so
Really?
happy to say that. Yes, you are killing it. You have answered. Oh, what did I say the top of the leaderboard was? 55. And you've answered 54. Woohoo! So second on the leaderboard for Zoom interviews. Hey! Congrats. If you ever come to Australia, okay, we're going to have to play that in person and you can
That was good. That was
beat
good.
everybody. It's a great way for us to get to know you better too, for all your fans.
Those are fun questions.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I brought it back. And people love that competitive element. They're like, I have to beat everybody.
Yes. Yes. Man, there were some
Wow.
tough ones. Cookies or cake? Oof.
And singing or dancing, you're like both.
Thinking or dancing really got me. That's
I
the
know.
one that would kept me at 54.
I always find people kind of stump at like friends or family or
Oh, yeah.
yeah, singing or dancing's a big one too, I always find.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
People love both. They love to sing their hearts out and dance their hearts out. Oh, well, thank you
Great.
so much for playing that with me. It's always so much fun.
Welcome. Thank
One of my
you.
favorite parts of the interview. We're unfortunately getting to the end of the interview now. It's gone so quickly. I can't believe it. I'm going to be sad to say goodbye. But as a closing statement, and what's probably the most important question, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
That's a great question. I would say, hey, Kelly. I would probably say that is, when I was 14, I think I was very much not concerned, but I just think a lot of my thoughts were filled with maybe what other people thought of me. And, does so-and-so like me? Am I popular? It's all about what other people thought of me. And I would encourage myself to try not to think about that and instead replace it with a positive thought about myself and a positive thought for someone else, and not be so concerned about other people's opinions or my own insecurities, but instead just try to know that I'm going to try to be the best that I can be, and that's enough. That's really enough. It's all of us are enough just as we are, just as we're made. And we don't need to try and be like someone else in order to be okay. We're okay, just the way we are. And so I'd probably encourage myself to know that probably other people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. If you walk into a lunchroom, and you don't know where to sit, it's not because everyone's thinking, I don't want her to sit with me. They're all concerned about their own lunches or maybe their next test they have, And so I'll just probably say something along those lines.
I love that. Thank you so much. There's so much of that resonated with me. I was like, oh my goodness. At 14, I thought the exact same thing. All I cared about was, what does everybody else think of me? Should I wear my hair this certain way? Are they going to like it or hate it? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, be me. Just be unapologetically yourself. That's like my
There you
favorite
go.
quote.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that. So hopefully that's helped a bit of our younger audience too. I ended up putting some of those quotes in my book just behind me in 2020. Nice. Yeah, and I hope to do another one in the future. So who knows? Maybe I could put you in the book too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's great.
I love those answers because it really helps our younger audience as well that might be struggling with some of those things. So I think
it's a common thing, you know, as you're approaching, you know, as you're a young teenager, to be aware of yourself through someone else's eyes. But it's also important to know, you know, who you are without other people looking at you, you know?
Yeah, as you mentioned when you were answering that question, that we're all made a specific way. Just embrace it, you know?
Right.
Put on this earth for a reason.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
And if our audience want to contact you or find out what you're up to in the future, Kelly, where should we go follow you?
Well, as I said in the 2 minutes, Instagram.
Instagram, that's her favorite.
It's just my name. It's just Kelly Stables. And I'm gonna try to be better at TikTok, but let's be honest. I think I'm gonna stick on Instagram as long as I can because I have kids that I need to give attention to. And
yeah, you've got a life outside of social media.
Yeah. So, but I try to do my best to do, you know, let people know about what's happening on TV and stuff like that through Instagram. And
yeah. All right, well, go follow you. Insta's my favorite too. I'm still so behind. I haven't even gotten onto TikTok. I don't really want to. I'm like, seems like a waste of time to me. I got other things to do.
I might just let that one go. I have a good friend. She's on that show, Miraculous Ladybug. She plays Chloe, and she's awesome on TikTok, and she's really good at it. And she does it so much that it's just very easy for her now to do it. Sometimes I'm like, that is so great, but I don't know if I have that kind of time.
You got a family to look after, a husband that I also noticed is in the industry as well, so that must be really helpful. Yeah. And for me, I got an empire to run, so.
That's right, girl. Yes, you do.
And thank you so much for coming on the show today, Kelly. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And as I mentioned quickly before, you're welcome on any time, all right? You've got my contact now, or Kurt does, and just contact me.
Thank you. Yeah, it was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You know, you have someone here in Australia to promote you.
Awesome. I would love to go there someday. I hear it's just gorgeous.
Have you been before?
No.
No. Well, you've got a tour guide here too, all right? I'll show you around if you ever come.
Awesome. That'd be great. We'll take you up on that.
Yes. It's a beautiful country. I'm here in Sydney, so there's heaps and heaps of tourist sites for you to check out.
Awesome. Cool. All
right. Well, let's keep in contact and we'll make it happen in the future.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's interview. If you'd like to check out any of our other interviews, visit our website, raveituptv.com. And remember, our podcast is on all podcasting platforms now. Just type in Rave It Up. And please go tell your friends. And if you haven't gotten our book, Knowing What I Know Now yet, please do so. That is also available on our website, raveituptv.com. And also, while you're there, I released a little mini ebook this year called Staying Strong, Finding Inner Peace During Hard Times, which could really help you find joy and happiness in the everyday life, especially during these difficult times that we're going through with COVID. And if you would like to further support Rave It Up, please go check out patreon.com/Rave It Up. You can pick a membership tier, and in exchange for supporting us, you'll receive free stuff and bonus content. How cool is that? For as little as $4 a month. That's like a coffee, right? We really appreciate anything you can support us with. And we'll see you in the next video. Another amazing interview coming up next. Bye, guys.